most important is the economic seminar or economic forum called by Ranil Wickrama, Prime Minister. It is very important because of the fact that he wants to mobilize resources for the development program that he has spelled out a few weeks back. It is a forum where famous bourgeois economists participated, and also very radical liberal famous economics authorities participated, such as Joseph Stiglitz. So the attempt is to see whether social capitalism, where market economy is constrained by social pressures and also giving into traditions and minority issues, feminism, and various such socio-political pressures are tolerated and then looked into the demands they made, whether it could be incorporated and bring stability for the economic growth. In that sense, it is wrong to assume that in the coming period there will be a big confrontation with the Ranil's government by the working class forces or the proletarian forces, because the idea is to compromise and to achieve a compromise which will give the government and the policymakers to implement their policies without confrontation by trade unions and other mass organizations. There is an argument by far left that however much there are pretexts made by Ranil Wickrama, that he is preparing for a severe confrontation with the working class, and that there will be serious clashes in the coming period. Actually, on that basis, they are trying to mobilize working class forces, and sections of trade unions have gone along with them, but there is no real issue at the moment against the government. Government has been seriously organized, and they have prepared to meet the trade union leaders and to discuss their demands in relation to their economic policy, and they have explained that at the moment they are trying to improve the tax collection and also the collections from various other resources. Depending on the strengthening of resources, they could give into some of the demands the trade unions are pressing for. But essential trade union demands have been met. Price hikes are given, and even to the estate workers, the price increase, wages increase should be incorporated in the coming period, and there is a threat of renationalization of the state if they don't adhere to the agreement achieved between the government and the trade unions. Then at the same time, the government is looking into signing free trade agreements with countries in the SAARC area, particularly India, Pakistan and Bangladesh and other countries. The discussions have started, but there is a strong campaign against going into that kind of trade agreements, claiming that those agreements will not be useful for our country with our capacity for exports. So that this will be inevitably useful only for the other side, and from our side it is a negative effect. But that cannot be accepted because obviously we have various items we are trying to export, even in the small agriculture, growers of paper, cinnamon and various other crops, in addition to tea and rubber. And on the side of fishing and also small scale industries, that we are in a position to export, and also on the free trade zone, there are items we could send out and two agreements with the countries close by. And so therefore, to think that these agreements are all negative is not a valid argument. Of course, if the GMOA or any other organization is claiming that not enough study have been done before signing such agreements, and need to go into this in details and see where and how we could benefit from the agreement. These are mostly bilateral agreements. At the moment they are discussing. So from these bilateral agreements, can we achieve anything? That's one of the criticisms made by GMOA. But then certain professors have claimed, after studying the past of our export efforts, that even though we have signed these agreements, that they have not been used very much to areas that they have agreed as vital to us. So that the improvement of exporting those vital sectors, the most important sector for us, has been almost negative. So therefore, Professor KARUNARATHNE and others blame the people who are organized in the trade and the industries for not really preparing for improving the exports in the areas that they have agreed in the trade agreement. Then, in addition to this dispute about the trade and how we should go and expand our market and so on, the debate is that the present government is not giving so much interest to making friends with China, but looking for other side. Now, that is also not a good argument, because the Sri Lankan leaders in the recent past have visited China, and they have come here and they are discussing how to rearrange even the Colombo port agreement which have been questioned by the government and also by the forces who came into fight against Mahinda. Now again they are trying to rearrange that by going into the environmental issues and the issues related to trade unions, whether those could be rectified and a fresh agreement be signed with China. So that is the level of discussions are going on, and it is premature to predict that the Sri Lankan government or Chinese government is going to be in a big crisis in the coming period, because there are a large number of well-wishers have come. Foreign countries, particularly the leading global capitalist countries, have been they have shown their happiness with the arrangement for reconciliation and national unity. The government, they say, going ahead with the program to devolve power and change the constitution, remove the dictatorial nature of the constitution, and so on. Then the real opposition to the government is still the racist, fascistic opposition of people who are clustered around Mahinda. They have called for a black day on January 8th to challenge the appointment of President Maitri, claiming that it is illegitimate and illegal, and they want to have a big campaign. But even though this was advertised and they had several meetings to explain their objective, there is hardly any enthusiasm even among their own people, because apart from this Gamma-Pilla faction, all others have not contributed to this campaign. However, it is strange that Janata Vimukthi Peramuna, which was participant in the democratic revolution in the last year, they have been drawn into this January 8th protest. They have also said that they are going to protest not with black but with red. But on the same day, whether you wear black or red, you will be identified as the people who have opposed and are prepared to fight against this government. So therefore, the attempt of JVP to come onto the oppositional side and have some kind of agreement with the racist forces is a very dangerous point. Because the racist forces have got bankrupt and they are divided, and they now are looking for some radical element to unite them. So the role of uniting the fascistic elements is almost taken over by JVP by their critical attitude at the moment. And even the Petrugamis, the faction of the JVP, they also have shown strong criticism for the government. They have said that economic policy is not viable, it will collapse, and there will be very severe repression in the coming period, and therefore that will give an opportunity for them to fight back. But we cannot agree with that, but we could see that this JVP and JVP breakaway groups, they have that friendliness and attachment to single petty bourgeois who are campaigning on racist ground. So therefore, we have to understand that JVP, even after this serious experience, still their racist attitude towards the war and Tamil national question has not been. So therefore, we have to, in the coming period, we have to challenge the points made by Anuruddha Sanayaka, and also prepare for a big campaign to resurrect the traditions of some Samaj in this country.